Hi all, welcome back to a final whistle for another stream on the channel then. And today we're going to discuss Tom Collomosse's article on Leicester City. He took the fans' Q&A about what is going on, or what at Leicester City at the minute, and it's some interesting stuff. Martyn Glover, huge admirer of Danny Rohl, Susan Whelan and Jon Rudkin's futures, and external investment with a question mark. Could that be one for Leicester City to look into? But yeah, get involved. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed to the final whistle. Please get down and do so. That helps me out massively. Push that notification bell. It will tell you every time we're live on the channel. But yeah, it's bloody nice and hot in here. It's pretty like, what, 27 degrees? So we're just coping with the heat as it passes by. But can we have some positive news? I mean, there might be some positive news in this article, to be honest, Terry, but I have a conspiracy theory. Maybe Danny Rohl suggested all the changes like external investment and Glover moving up the ranks. Maybe not. Who knows? Hi, Jack. Hello. July 1st. No sign of any news. So it's the first day of Jamie Vardy's a non-Leicester City player, by the way, for anyone that wants to know that. Manish, how are we, mate? Uncle Clibo, how are we? Hope you're good. Canal, how are we, mate? Hi all, hi Jack. Hello, Josh, how are we, mate? Hope you're good. Malcolm, how are we, mate? Craig, afternoon. Quite fancied the new training jersey. Nelson looked a charming in it. I mean, yeah, that training wear looks fantastic, doesn't it? Hopefully they've done all right on the kit. Obviously, we're not going to be sure what the new sponsor on the kit is. But yeah. Hi, Jack. Yeah, new training wear looks mint. Can anybody answer why we haven't sold our women's team to ourselves like Aston Villa and Chelsea? We'd have thought that, wouldn't you? Or even selling bloody Seagrave to King Power and then getting money in that way to help us towards PSR and that. But that was an initial one. Is Rohl now free to leave Wednesday? No compensation to pay. Well, I've been talking to a Sheffield Wednesday news page, and he believed Danny Rohl got paid last month. I don't know how true it is, but then again, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I know the players haven't been paid for 2 months and that. I know Chris Powell is now free from Sheffield Wednesday. I think Pedersen is as well. They obviously want to bring Pedersen in, don't they? Sheffield Wednesday as manager. I believe that is it the under-23s manager at Sheffield Wednesday. They're looking on hiring him as Pedersen's assistant, but it's an absolute mess at Hillsborough, isn't it? Let's be fair, from the stand needs fixing. I think, is it a Chanzeri stand, is it, that needs looking at? Chanzeri not paying the players, Danny Rohl in talks to leaving and all that. And yeah, I mean, I think the worst case scenario would probably be liquidation, to be honest, but I don't know. It has been mentioned. I think it was one of the articles that was on about it. Probably going to go back to King Power. I do feel for those Sheffield Wednesday. Exactly. No club should ever be in that situation, should they? Regarding any club, to be honest. You look at when Bury went out of business, but now they've been brought back. You look when Bolton were in trouble, Derby. And a few other clubs like Reading, who their owner got forced to sell in the end. So maybe that could be a thing for Sheffield Wednesday, where Chanzeri probably is forced to sell in the long run. I mean, he has had admirers to buy the club, but he has turned them down because he wants too much money. But yeah, it's interesting to say the least. But right, let's get on to Tom Collomosse's article. Let's go and give it a read, shall we? Let me share my screen, and then everyone else can can get involved. Let me check on my end that it is working. There we go. Yeah, there we go. We can see. Right. So Leicester City Q&A with Tom Collomosse. What's going on with Sean Dyche and Danny Rohl? And the latest on the points deduction and owners' attempts to sell stake and which star is heading for the exit. Or the latest on manager search and who will follow Jeremy Monger's path from the academy to the first team. You can also pay 99p to a month for the best of male sport, including best transfer news and trusted reporting from inside the Leicester City camp. And obviously, I'm the one who's paid 99p, so you lot don't have to. So we can read this together and go through everything. Is Jon Rudkin leaving Leicester City? I mean, it'd probably be bigger news than Danny Ward going to bloody Wrexham, mate, if Jon Rudkin was leaving Leicester City. But let's get into it. Let's have a read. So, these are trying times to be a Leicester City fan. Relegated to the Championship with, as yet, no manager in place. Fears about the health of the club's parent company, and with a possible points deduction looming, you certainly need a sunny disposition and a robust sense of humour to support the Foxes these days. With Jamie Vardy gone and little money available for new signings, it is difficult to see how Leicester City build a promotion campaign from here. Many fear things will become worse before they improve. Cheers, Jack. Appreciate you sharing this. That's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about that. It's good. That's it. Yeah, this paywall content with us, exactly. Yeah, I've paid it so you don't have to. So you're saving yourself a quid. Perfect, how are we, mate? Hope you're good. But yeah, so the rudderless nature of the club was summed up by the decision to announce the departure of Ruud van Nistelrooy 2 months after relegation was confirmed. It is thought the delay was due to, at least in part, to the club's balance sheet, with spending rules a constant headache. Leicester might have had to include the payoffs for both Steve Cooper and Ruud van Nistelrooy in their 24-25 cut. It is possible Van Nistelrooy's settlement will be backdated, so it is included in the 25-26 financial statement. So that saves us. Against this backdrop, fans will probably be relieved to see some football. It is not all doom and gloom either. A strong core of players remains, and Leicester City did brilliant to secure the immediate future of Jeremy Monger, one of the brightest talents in the country and who had 7 Premier League appearances last season. He should go strength to strength in the Championship. It is also Ruud van Nistelrooy's birthday, so happy birthday, Ruud. Thanks for the 9 defeats on the spin, mate, without scoring. Yeah, we do appreciate it as always. Didn't know you could read, Jack, mate, honestly. Some bloody things. Hi, Jack. Dyche's wife's down at bloody Foss Park again. Well, Sean Dyche likes to shop at Foss Park. It's just a normal thing for people, isn't it? It's like people might want to shop at the Icross or Meadowall in Sheffield, or do you get what I mean? So we can't read into any of that. You know, someone will probably say, I seen her in Asda at Foss Park. I seen her in Primark. I seen her in Superdrug. I seen her in Holland and Barrett buying some vitamins or something. You probably need fucking vitamins to come into Leicester City, let's be honest, you know, without the amount of stress it causes. But there we go. There's Jamie Vardy. He is no longer around for the first time in 13 years. Jeremy Monger, crucial piece of business. But let's get into it firstly. Let's have a look. So will Sean Dyche be the new Leicester City manager soon? So Sean Dyche is obviously a name that's been mentioned. Still favourite in the bookies. The former Everton man, former Burnley man, former Watford man. This is what Collomosse has had to say on him. So I think a manager like Dyche would want to know exactly what he was facing before he is seriously considered taking the job like this. A proven Premier League operator, Dyche will drop into the Championship only if he is confident he can get out of it quickly. However, capable he might be, though a significant points deduction is going to hurt Leicester's chance of an immediate promotion greatly. With that in mind, would Dyche really want to take a job with the landscape unclear? By sitting tight now, he is likely to be in the frame for Premier League jobs in autumn or early winter. when the decision makers at struggling clubs start to panic about the prospect of relegation. So I personally wouldn't see Dyche come in. I think he will hold out for a Premier League job, because if Scott Parker doesn't last long, or Lebris at Sunderland, then maybe he could go there. Farker at Leeds, another one. So from the pictures taken during training session yesterday, Cody's back training is it's not that the Rangers deal's off, mate, but I do think that you've just got to give it time to analyse everything. Obviously, I do think that the Conor Coady deal will probably happen. £3 million is probably what it'll be. Gets him off the wage bill. But I do think Leicester City are really holding out on letting players leave until a new manager comes in. So they're holding off at the minute on that, due to obviously who the manager would want, who he wouldn't want. So that's the issue. Conor Coady, is one that will most probably leave with wage demands and that, but I don't know. I thought 1st of July was a big day for financial moves. Still nothing from the club. A lot of players have been free agents, by the way. Calvert-Lewin, Josh Brownhill, Tyrese Dolan from Blackburn. I've heard little ones about Tyrese Dolan, but would he come to Leicester? I know we were chatting about it on Blue Tinted Glasses yesterday. But Burnley will come calling for Dyche. Exactly. I think Burnley would. Rumour around my area that the manager will be announced in the next 48 hours. If the deal was in advanced stage, why would Rangers want him training with us? I'm not sure. Maybe just nobody in the office at Leicester City to get this deal done. Maybe they're still on holiday, armchair jockey, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't think Dyche would turn down and move to Burnley again, would he? Let's be fair, he's proper love there. He's even got a pub named after him. So, yeah, reading more on it then. So, that was from Mine the Silver Fox, who got his question answered there. TAIE podcast. Any news on King Power looking to potentially sell? Obviously, there's been a lot of questions about Top and what has been happening and what he can do. We've read reports from Thailand about the challenges King Power have faced. It's also true that clubs like Leicester are always open to external investment. And that is probably the case now more than it has been ever. So maybe we could have future investment come in external to help the club push further. A full sale is a different matter, though. The club is worth much more than the 39 million King Power paid for it in 2010, but far less than it was in the middle of the last decade when Leicester won the Premier League title and qualified for the Champions League. So why would a state-backed fund from the Middle East alight on Leicester now? A more realistic option would probably be North America owners, captivated by recent history of the club. But right now, minority investment is probably the best King Power could hope for. So who knows? Who knows? I'm sure people would be interested in investing into Leicester City, American consortiums and all that. But it remains to be seen what's going to happen there. Time to roll the dice. Coady came to say goodbye to his teammate Winks. I mean, Kyle Walker-Peters or I say Samuel on a free. Interesting. Good afternoon, Jack. Hope you're good. Who would you like to take the reins at Leicester? Danny Rohl. Danny Rohl. Just read that the club is worth around 200 mil. Wow. Interesting. This situation is desperate, and as fans, it's very difficult not to be fuming with the boys upstairs. Yeah, I can agree with that. So the next question is from Ryan, and this is what Tom Collomosse has to say on Danny Rohl. If Danny Rohl is generally the leading target, do the club trust him enough to give him real power in recruitment? Or will Director of Football Jon Rudkin still be pulling the strings? First thing to remember about Rohl, he's hugely admired by Head of Recruitment Martyn Glover, who is the head of recruitment at Leicester. He has brought in some good players, to be fair. Who saw him as close quarters at Southampton? So these two have worked together at Southampton, so I think they've had a bit of a good relationship between them. And I think Martyn Glover, if Danny Rohl is to come in, I think Martyn Glover would be the one behind it who has mentioned to the club, go and look at Danny Rohl. So that was when he was part of Ralph Hasenhüttl's coaching staff. I believe that's when we beat Southampton 9-0. Rohl was sounded out when Cooper was sacked last autumn, so Leicester have looked at him previously. Not necessarily as a candidate for that time, but as someone Leicester might turn to in the future. So Danny Rohl, in my eyes there, it is the fact that Leicester City have sounded him out. So Leicester City have looked at him as a future manager. So Danny Rohl is going to be leaving Sheffield Wednesday. Do the club now make that move? This is the future move, that what I'm talking about. You know, so they have sounded him out. They didn't really want to appoint him when Cooper was there. They wanted him for the future, for a start of the season project. And this is the chance Leicester's got now. This situation, top two in the betting, don't want it. Reported last week, the board was impressed with what Damien Duff achieved. That's an interesting one. I've not really heard much on that. That role would be good for us. Yes, especially the young lads. They need to buck up and quick. We need him signed ASAP. Season is round the corner. Yeah. He wasn't at Southampton when we got beat 9-0. Ralph fell apart without him. Oh, okay. So he definitely wasn't at Southampton then. Okay, mate. Well, I probably read it wrong then, that part that he was there. But I know he was at Southampton during the time of when Ralph Hasenhüttl was there. Bro, we need a manager. That'll be cold. Exactly, yeah, we do. We need bloody summer to bloody cool our frustrations down, let's be fair. But 80 of you watching, by the way, really appreciate it. Hit that like button for me if you enjoyed this stream. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. We've got a lot more to discuss regarding Leicester City, by the way, in this article. I've only just got started for everyone who's just watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed to the Final Whistle before. Please do so. It helped me out massively. Push that notification bell and it'll tell you every time we are live, so you won't miss a stream when we do go live. And yeah, he was in the stands laughing. I feel like we might lose out on him to Brentford. Rudkin likes taking. The thing is, Evitz, and I'll say this, why would Danny Rohl want to go to Brentford as a number 2? It wouldn't make sense, any sense. He's got better potential as a manager than bloody Keith Andrews. Let's be fair. Keith Andrews hasn't got no experience in management whatsoever. The man was a coach. What was he? A set-piece coach or something? So Danny Rohl's got more of a ceiling. He's been in the job, done it, and wore the T-shirt. So why would he go and be a number 2 to somebody who hasn't really been cut out as a manager before? Do you get what I mean? All right, Fox Fanatics. I've just arrived. What's happening? Well, Dave. Backward step for Rohl. Rohl wants to stay as boss and not as an under. Exactly. You know, he'll be learning more from Danny Rohl. Danny Rohl might as well take the Brentford job then. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm good, thank you. Yourself. Rohl has been a number 2 with the German national team. A number 2 at Brentford is a huge downgrade. Exactly my point. What I'm making. He's just handling any championship club. He'll be handling a club who will likely go straight back up. Come on, Rohl, do the right thing. Well, he might take a chance on Andrews getting sacked and Rohl takes over. Yeah, but that's just waiting time again. He ain't got time to lose for that. If he wants to progress as a manager, he's got to join another club when he leaves Sheffield Wednesday. And bloody hope it's Leicester. Let's be fair. We are late again in management recruitment. Well, better late than never. Any new manager coming in would need time. Yeah, last time Cooper was appointed after the delay from Potter. Hopefully it won't be that kind of situation again. Exactly. No, I agree. We can't be doing things like this. We can't. There's no time to waste. Pre-season has started. Andy King is now getting them fit and firing. for the game against Peterborough on Saturday. So we need a manager in for pre-season. He ain't going nowhere as a number 2. He's building a platform for it. Exactly. He's worked under Flick. He's worked under Nagelsmann. He's worked under Hasenhüttl. He's worked under some top coaches, Danny Rohl, and he isn't going to want to go as a number 2 again. That guy has got a high ceiling. He wants to go to the top. He's very charismatic, pragmatic. He loves analysing. He loves data. He wants to keep progressing. He wants to get to the very top, and it's how he gets there is the big thing. The club has to be honest to any manager that steps up. Exactly my point. Has he signed for Brentford? No, he hasn't. Surely this he's signed, sealed and delivered behind the scenes is just pending the announcement now, or wishful thinking. I think it's just wishful thinking. I've heard not much more than yesterday where the compensation talks have been held between Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday. So who knows? There's a lot going on at Sheffield Wednesday in a minute, and Leicester need to not drag this out. Leicester need to get this done quickly, ASAP. And I'm hoping bloody Chanzir is watching this because he needs to get it sorted. Whoever we get, we can't afford them leaving. Exactly. What I will say, Terry, is if Danny Rohl does come in now, then we need a backup plan, for when he does leave in the future. We need someone with the same caliber and the same style of football and everything like that. We need a plan to go forward with. Had a bad dream last night. Jesus Christ, mate. Carsley prices slashed 5-1 on Sunday on the back of an article that Carsley wasn't impressed with how it looked for the City. I mean, Lee Carsley has said he wants to stay with the under-21s England team. Obviously, he's just won the trophy there, hasn't he? And he wants to keep progressing. He doesn't want the job. He don't want a club football job. He wants to stay in international football, which is understandable, isn't it? If you're looking at a bloody under-21s job where you're doing well with England and then you're kind of looking at Leicester's mess, you're not going to want it at all. Exactly. Signed a new deal, yeah. Had a bad dream that Kingy was in charge for Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, that's an interesting one in itself, to be honest. Sorry, I'm just getting bloody hot and bothered here. He ain't coming. Yeah, exactly. Right. Let's keep going down. Can everyone see the article, by the way? Can everyone see it on their screens? Is it big enough for everyone? And that's what I want to know. Right. So Danny Rohl, looking at this one, while all coaches would like some input in transfers, Rohl is a training ground coach who was educated in Germany where sporting directors handle transfers and coaches coach. If Danny Rohl can settle his contract with Sheffield Wednesday and Leicester can avoid compensation potentially, the German could be the ideal fit. He is also admired by Brentford, potentially to become a part of Keith Andrews' team, but it would be a surprise if Rohl chooses to work for a boss with less experience than he has. And there's Danny Rohl now at Sheffield United, bloody Southampton. Right. The next question is by Fossils and Foss. They ask, when will Director of Football Jon Rudkin and Chief Executive Susan Whelan be sacked for litany of decisions that has resulted in Leicester's being relegated in 22-23, let alone 24-25? See, this is a good question. The famous review that took place at the end of the 22-23 season after Leicester were relegated and there were precisely no changes in key positions. Will it be any different this time? Mail Sport has heard suggestions that Whelan may step away from the football side of King Power to focus on the main business, with Rudkin less hands-on than before. The thing is, man needs sacking. You know what I mean? And that in that theory would allow Glover to take more of a prominent role. So he'd move up in doing everything and Rudkin just sit back and whatever he's doing. Yet these remain no more than suggestions. As far as we know, the status quo remains. One thing is clear: Leicester desperately need to reset. So that's what they're saying on Jon Rudkin and Susan Whelan. £1 million ain't even much, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'd love Glover to take charge of all signings. It's so clear which signings are Glover's influence rather than the manager. I don't even think that bloody Oliver Skip was a Glover appointment. I think with Glover, it was El Canute, Buonanotte, them types of players. Jordan Ayew, and I wouldn't even believe that there was his, to be honest. I think that was a managerial bloody talking. Sporting director / head of recruitment. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Right, on to the next bit. Any questions or information at this point would be a bonus. Only thing we've been told since relegation is that Gary Taylor Fletcher's birthday is on June the 4th. I mean, Leicester City have been wishing everybody happy birthday. Since the season's finished, we've just been wishing everyone happy birthday, and we've heard nothing at all apart from someone's bloody turning 56 or 46 or 43 or whatever age they're turning. Leicester City have wished a happy birthday. And this has come from Steve, by the way. So, Steve, your question goes to the heart of a big problem, communication, which is very much needs happening. The policy of the Leicester hierarchy has always been to avoid speaking to media. Insight rarely goes beyond the chairman, Ayawat Shribra Hadapapar's programme notes. For a club apparently in steep decline, this is simply not good enough. It is fine to keep quiet when things are going well, but when they are not, supporters who spend their wages to watch this club deserve answers. Couldn't put that better myself. This is not the fault of the comms team at Leicester, who can ultimately only act as they are directed. This detached attitude from top has to change if the club are to have any chance of rebuilding their relationship with the supporters more than ever. They need them now. Exactly. We need answers. We deserve answers. We deserve communicating with. Happy birthday, FC. They didn't even wish Ruud van Nistelrooy happy birthday or Danny Ward. Well, it is what it is. No, I ain't. No, I'm not. Fatawu was a Glover one too. I agree. I swear Rob Tanner said Ayew and Skip were Cooper signings. Well, bloody Andre Ayew was signed by Steve Cooper at Forest. So that tells you all you need to know. I'm surprised we haven't had any outgoings yet. Surely we don't keep fast. Well, I heard you are going in as a bombshell. Well, the only bombshell what's going to be coming out is Leicester City probably in the next couple of weeks when we actually do finally bring a manager in. Tell us the truth. Well, I'm trying to bloody analyse this bloody report. Leicester City fans deserve the truth. You know what I mean? Tom Collomosse has been very much honest in this one. Mad no connection with the fans. Yeah. Happy birthday, Rude. Don't choke on that cake. Well, I heard they only brought him a fairy cake with one candle. And, yeah, fantastic. But let's get on to the next part. Are they going for Rohl? Because he'll be the easiest option, maybe even a stooge. With King Power in their current state, who would actually want the job without knowing exactly what punishment awaits? This is from Paul, by the way, another Leicester fan. I don't think Rohl would be anyone's stooge. We've seen that at Sheffield Wednesday, where the German is at loggerhead with owner Deshvon Chanziri. And while a coach like Deitch would not wish to join a club facing a possible points penalty for breaking spending rules, Danny Rohl is different. Still, only 36, Rohl was deservedly admired for his work at Wednesday, and if he did similarly well in difficult circumstances at Leicester, his reputation would only grow. Even if off-field circumstances thought the Foxes bid for immediate promotion, then for a training ground coach like Rohl, Leicester's fabulous base at Seagrave would be a dream. Well, we've got the bloody best training ground in the country, haven't we? Let's be fair, even in your room. Rude Nasty got a nice pair for me. The birthday wishes will just be AI. The fat Glover rates Rohl shows he had a good taste in players and manager. See, this is what I'm saying. Could Danny Rohl, with him coming to Leicester, be a Martyn Glover acquisition where he said to the club, this is a man you need to be looking for. This is the man we need to move on fast with now to really get it going. You know, I think Martyn Glover's had conversations about it. Let's be fair. I think he's had his input, and this is why Danny Rohl's name keeps getting pushed and pushed further day by day. But I'm convinced even with a back in, Ruud still would have been a failure. Yeah, his football weren't great, was it? Let's be honest with you. His football was not great at all. Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's bloody hot. I have to keep wiping my head with a towel, but Glover needs more power given. Exactly that. Right. If you just join in, get involved, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to us already. Hit the like button as well if you enjoy this stream. We have paid the pound, so you don't have to with Daily Mail. So we can go through this article together and everyone can have their input on everything that I read from the article. And because I'm guessing a lot of people haven't even read the article yet or anything. So, yeah. Do you think the points deduction affects managers? Sometimes it depends, doesn't it? But some managers like a challenge. Danny Rohl, I think we are in a better position in Sheffield Wednesday. We're not in that much of a mess where players are not getting paid and that. But yeah, we've obviously had our fair share of different things. Let's be fair, with obviously King Power's problems, Leicester City's problems on and off the pitch, sacking managers. I think if Danny Rohl comes in, it'd be our sixth appointment. So we've had Brendan Rodgers, Dean Smith, Enzo Maresca, Steve Cooper, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and then Danny Rohl potentially. So regardless of our points deduction, I think Rohl would be stupid not to take up a role as such as Leicester. Have King Power made? Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've made an agreement with AOT. Is it Airport of Thailand? We are still a big draw away, really. I mean, would you rather get Rudkin out, Leicester City, then we can have a party? I mean, well, it'd be bloody some celebrating some fans, wouldn't it, if Rudkin left? But moving on with the article, where are we? So, what's the 5-year plan for Leicester City? Jason asks. 5 years, Tom Collomosse says. Leicester fans would be grateful to understand the club's idea for the next 5 weeks or even 5 days. That is slightly unfair of me, actually. The deal to keep Mongo was hugely impressive and deserves praise, not at least for the departed boss Ruud van Nistelrooy. Mongo was wanted by top clubs across Europe, and Manchester City were thought to be very interested. But Leicester were able to keep him by offering him playing time last season and explaining that if he continues to progress, he can be a key player for the Championship next term. If Barcelona are prepared to give opportunities to talented teenagers, why not Leicester? Nobody's comparing Mongo with Lamine Yamal. But with Jamie Vardy gone, he looks like the man most likely to have supporters smiling again, which is, in all fairness, that is what it is. And I think he'd do all right. 5 hours more like. By the way, the article about King Power reaching an agreement with AOT came out that it's false. Really? I swear they've done it with like 5 airports, 5 of the big airports, the international ones. I don't know. It's just what I'd read, to be honest, mate. They don't have a 5-week plan. Striking options for us this season. Probably Ayew and Daka at this point in time. I don't know what else, mate, to be honest, but it is what it is. Right, let's have a look. Why did we not sell players before June the 30th? Mavidide SZN. Many of the club's recent financial relates to the early part of this decade when their wage bill was more than 100% of turnover. They failed narrowly to qualify for Champions League football. Brendan Rodgers' team pipped on the final day of the season in both 2020 and 2021. With profitability and sustainability rules calculated over a rolling 3-year period, some of those numbers will not be factored when the 24-25 accounts are submitted. Leicester are actually reduced losses significantly to 19 million in their most recent accounts. However, I'd expect players to leave. Not that Leicester have many who would be attracting significant fees. Goalkeeper Matt Hermansen is the best of them, and there is every chance he will play for a top 5 European league by the end of the summer, with both Chelsea and West Ham are admirers. So Chelsea and West Ham admirers of him. Rick from the big, strong Leicester boys. Will the club finally make priority a manager they employ to bring through and build team around the academy players, or will they continue to prioritise experienced players who flop here? So Rick has often talked about this issue on this podcast. I can see where he's coming from. Mongo has shown the way. and I expect others like Jake Evans to follow into the first team picture. If Monga has signed, it suggests Leicester are at long last looking at what they have in the oppressive academy. They've spent nearly £100 million on Seagrave. They might as well make the most of that investment. Facilities, they're perfect for young players to develop, and I'd expect more to join Monga and players like Evans, McAteer around the first team next term. All the better if they have coaches like Rohl and title winner Andy King to guide them. Yeah, right. Yeah, Danny Rohl, good with the youngsters and that as well. Don't worry. Yeah, well, the first offer to AOT was rejected. Wow. Okay. I've not read anything since it. Armchair. To be fair, mate. West Ham will certainly come in for Mads, but I suspect that'll only happen once they get rid of Kudus. Jack, are we going to announce Danny Rohl soon? Well, Leicester need to bloody quicken this up. Sheffield Wednesday need to bloody hurry up with this bloody situation, you know, because if it is the compensation we have to pay, which is regarded as £1 million, then it's one of them things. In Daka we trust. Daka is a GOAT. Well, there we are. So Daka's going to be top scorer next season then, lads. What do you reckon? Where is your mate you do lives with? Forgot his name. Who's that? Who are we on about? Which one are we talking about? My mate. I've been live with Reese, Clibo, Rob Tanner. Yeah, been live with a few people. But yeah. Right, moving on. So this is the last part. What about the possible points deduction? This is a question from Steve. The $1 million question, Leicester were charged with breaking Premier League spending rules in May. And at this time, the authorities hoped the case would be resolved by the start of the new championship. Yet, as fans know well, legal processes rarely work so smoothly with delays and migration common. It is perfectly possible there that Leicester City go into the new season unaware of their fate. It is hardly an inviting prospect for potential new players who dream of promotion. Exactly that. And that is the article. And hopefully, probably locked. None of them. He dyed his hair blue. I think you're on about Rossi LCFC 1993. I think that's what you're on about, aren't you? I know he goes on blue tinted glasses. He was definitely on there yesterday. Your mate Danny Rohl he's talking about. My mate Danny Rohl, someone who I've never even met in my life. Someone who I've not even got a bloody contact for in my phone. If I did, I'd give him a ring. I'd tell him, armchair, mate, that you're asking about him, but definitely ain't got it, mate. Surely the best man for the club future. Yeah, potentially that's it, Ross. Yeah, that is it. That is the article. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments, what your thoughts are. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed this stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and follow us on social media as well, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you find it, the Final Whistle. Drop us a follow. And that is it. So hopefully we have more of an understanding with what Tom Collomosse has had to say from the Daily Mail with answering fans' questions, Martyn Glover's huge admirer, Danny Rohl, the talk on Susan Whelan and Jon Rudkin, and potentially an external investment. So all ones which are going to be interesting to see what happens in the future and that. But the German sausage roll, yeah. Decent views, doing well, Jack. Keep pushing, pal. I am. When do you expect a manager? Surely we don't. Yeah, I think it's got to be imminent, hasn't it? We really can't mess about. We've got to probably hire him this week, if I'm honest with you. But there we go. Will the German sausage roll be coming to the King Power Stadium? Yeah, it'd be interesting. Question is, though, is it better than Greg's the German sausage roll? We'll see. But hopefully we can get this managerial situation resolved soon. The players are now back in pre-season. The training kit looks fine, by the way. It looks absolutely mint. But yeah, that is it. Danny Cobb. And that is it. But thanks for watching. If there's any more news on the situation regarding Danny Rohl and that, we will look to report it as live. Get your guys' thoughts and always. You lot mean a lot to his channel. We appreciate all the support, all the love, all the comments and everything like that. So yeah, we try and read everyone's comments out as well and get everyone involved. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you're up to. Keep it at the final whistle.